welcome to our BigID and SecuPi Better Together video. Today, I'm going to talk about how BigID and SecuPi together can create a holistic data security platform and protect sensitive data. SecuPi is a data security platform that can help you understand who's accessing your data, enforce fine-grained access controls, including attribute-based access control to sensitive data, de-identify data that includes dynamic masking, physical masking, dynamic encryption, physical encryption, including tokenization and format-preserving encryption, and privileged access brokering when you're getting access to your databases. BigID is all about data visibility and control for the hybrid cloud that provides you data security, compliance, privacy, and governance. With BigID, you want to connect and scan your data and then discover it, classify, and tag your inventory. This is where we take the information from BigID into SecuPi to help you with the SecuPi security application to further protect that sensitive data. This is how it works. When BigID scans the data, we can get the metadata about the sensitive data into SecuPi Management Server, and we can get information about the users to the SecuPi Management Server. Then we have a policy that says privileged users or analytics users or business users or service accounts or partners would see sensitive data encrypted or masked or not see it at all. And we can enforce it with different types of enforcers, including gateways and agents and native and APIs and SDK. So there's a variety of options here to protect any type of data platform. It can be in the cloud with AWS, Azure, and Google. It can be Snowflake, Oracle, Databricks, on-prem databases. So there's a lot of integrations here. So SecuPi for BigID provides end-to-end encryption. It offers a unique capability like format-preserving encryption, which is like tokenization, to balance security. It can also provide data masking. So we can mask the data in different formats, partially mask it, fully mask it, physically mask it, or dynamically mask it. It is very scalable and it's easy to deploy because it has zero code changes to enhance compatibility for different types of databases and data platforms. In addition, it provides you automated auditing that will give you information about the original user who tried to access the data, the risk score, and the classification that, of course, we can get from BigID. And last and not least, it provides you enhanced manageability because from one platform, you can manage all of your data access in one spot. So now I'm going to show you a demonstration for the BigID and SecuPi integration. First, I'm going to show you the scan and detect sensitive data in BigID. Then I'm going to automatically import the metadata from BigID into SecuPi. And then we're going to automatically encrypt the data in the application. And lastly, we're going to have a detailed report about data. The last will be access to data, detailed audit information about accessing data. So let's first try to run a query, and I'm going to run a query from a database. So I'm going to run this query. I'm going to do a select from public customer CS. It's a database, it's a customer table, and you can see the email here is in clear text, and I got 1,000 results, 1,000 rows results. So this is what happens when the data is being accessed without any protection. Okay, now let's go into BigID. So within BigID, I've scheduled a scan to my Postgres database. So let's see that. I'm going to see my data process, my data sources, and I'm going to look at my data catalog. So I have a customer database RDS, that's a Postgres on AWS, and I'm going to look at the customer CS table. So let's See that? Customer CS, there it is. So this is the customer CS table. It has 14 columns. If we look at the attributes, there are email attributes, birth date attributes, right? And if I look at the columns, you can see that the column email is tagged with the email classifier, right? So that's what's happening here. So BigID already discovered this data, and now I'm going to import this data. Let's do that. Integrate data catalog. I'm already connected to BigID, and now I'm going to run an import. So I'm saying find everything you find like an email and apply some classifications to it. Now I'm going to save on import and run it. Of course, this can be scheduled, so it can run every X amount of time. I'm going to run it right now. Once I run it, data is going to be imported into SecuPi, and it will tell me that this column, let's go back here, that this column, the email is sensitive data, is PII, personally identifiable data. So now I'm going to run this query again. Let's see what happens. There you go. So you can see now that the email is encrypted. Let's see why it's encrypted. Email is suddenly encrypted. We just imported the data from BigID. The data is suddenly encrypted. Let's see what happened here. So if I'll go to my configuration and resource access, I'll be able to see, let's refresh this. I'll be able to see that BigID told me that the customer CS table has an email address column, and it has PII and email, and that's why we did it. So now let's see how the data access looks like. So we can see here there's a classification already here, and there was a rewrite, which means SecuPi protected this data. If I'll click this blue box, I'll be able to see that user Jack accessed from this IP address. The real user that ran this command was noamd. That's my user in my laptop. And the role within the database is finance. The request was select from public the schema customer CS the table, and we tagged it as PII and an email classifier for the table customer CS. You can also see that we encrypted the column email with something we call FPE, format preserving encryption for email. And I can even see sample data if I want to. This is usually for test environments, but this is why we see it. So if we'll go back to summary here, we showed you how to scan the data from BigID, how to automatically import that metadata into SecuPi, how to automatically protect the data within SecuPi, and how to see detailed audit of any sensitive data access. That's the power of going together with SecuPi and BigID. Thank you for listening.